Hey guys, Adam Rose, Vice President, Senior Loan Officer of Western Ohio Mortgage here in Sydney, Ohio. This is another episode of the Mortgage Guy podcast, and this week we're just going to do another market update and what's happening in the industry and around the country on the lending side as well as the real estate side, and kind of what we've been up to a little bit lately. So first off, we just got done with our Ohio Mortgage Bankers legislative day at the Capitol, the state Capitol that is. Got a chance to talk to some local senators, congressman, the DFI, treasurer, what's going on, and we got to voice our concerns about home ownership and affordability, things of that nature. And they share in our concerns, of course, when it comes to price points, affordable housing, options out there for down payment assistance programs, as well as helping out local builders in regards to easing the cost of building new homes so we can kind of keep our housing stock moving forward. So just a quick update there. So if you are not involved with your local governments in your industry, I highly encourage you to do so. It does have an impact. So make sure your voice is heard. So let's go to some quick market updates. So my favorite topic, lender lawsuits. As long as I'm not named in one, I'm pretty happy. So this one's Rocket, our favorite company out there. So Rocket Mortgage is facing a class action lawsuit right now. Violations of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, the TCPA, for unsolicited phone calls. So this was filed in Arizona, and it centers around some claims from an individual is where it started with, who received over 27 phone calls from Rocket Mortgage within 10 days, despite requesting not to be contacted, as well as it's opened up to people that have been getting solicited from other lenders as well, not just Rocket, but that is a large lending institution based out of Detroit, and they have LOs all over the country making these calls. So it sounds like some people have opted out of additional phone calls, but that has been ignored, and they've been hammering people. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. It sounds like it's going to be pretty large because if anybody's familiar with the do not call list, technically speaking, it's quite a large fine for a violation if you do not scrub people's names against that list. So it could be quite an expensive settlement. We'll kind of see how that plays out here. So we'll have updates to follow when we get some more news. So I do want to give a quick update on the real estate class action that happened in Missouri and going on in Illinois. Again, I gave you the update. People were it's a class action of a bunch of sellers talking about suing all the real estate companies for being overcharged or not being aware that they were paying a buyer's agent in that commission split. Again, you've all heard my opinion on this, and if you haven't, you check out the last episode that we sent out for you guys, so you can get that update. But anyways, newest update, those same attorneys that have won that case, again, that's not going to be over with. There is no money that's been settled yet. Again, the plaintiffs were awarded $1.8 billion. However, it is going to be, of course, sent up the ladder, and there's going to be new suits. They're going to fight this for quite some time to come. So that stuff's not going to be over with for a little while. But an update on that, those same attorneys, of course, have opened it up to the entire country. So we will all be, the entire real estate community is going to be involved in this at some point in time. So it's going to be coming to a state near you guys. So we will keep you up to date on what's going on with that. But just a quick update there. So moving on here, we have some updates on mortgage applications. So they have reached a 5-week high. Now here's the deal. It's a little bit of a couple of different things going on here. We got just a slight rate reduction over the last week or so. That's not the true cause of this. Really, it's a cyclical thing. When you get an increase in September and early October numbers, and that's mainly due to August usually goes down slightly on new applications, and it's mainly because people are settling into their new school districts or school's about to start. Life's a little hectic, a little crazy. They're trying to get situated and organized and trying to get into a routine. And then once school has been settled for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, applications start to tick back up, right? So that's kind of a normal cyclical thing. So I don't know if that's overly positive news or is it just normal news, but it is up on an index of about 2.8% over the last month or so, but that's across the country, so that's a significant number. But what is not a surprise to me, is applications to refinance a home has increased 2% from week to week. So I really think that trend is actually going to continue. And obviously, I don't have numbers on what the rates were of these current borrowers that are looking into refinancing with what's going on this stat here. But even these people that are in a 3%, 2.5%, people are going after more money. Now, are they doing a full first mortgage, refinance the whole thing? Some of them are probably, yes. Some of them going after HELOCs, second mortgages, yes. But the main and root cause of this is the economy as a whole. Inflation has hit the market so bad that people are living off of consumer debt, right? Using credit cards to keep up with their lifestyle, the price of gas. I mean, anybody out there that's watching the show that does local grocery shopping, the shopping bill is absurd. We've been dealing with this for more than 12 months now. So you total all that up, and it catches up to people, right? So people are now looking at alternative ways to pay that debt off. They're willing to accept a slightly higher payment to eliminate a ton of credit card debt, personal loan debt that are at 10%, 15, 18% on credit cards. And it does make sense. Yes, it sucks to get rid of that first mortgage rate, but again, you might be able to unload $400 or $500 worth of monthly debt obligations, and it makes sense. So I feel like this trend is going to continue indefinitely until it's officially tamed and we can get some of this inflation completely under control. Loan sizes, I'm actually a little surprised on this one. Slightly increased. The average loan size was $355,700 compared, or is $355,700 compared to $353,600. So that's quite a little bit of a jump. And it's a little surprising in this market, right? With a little bit of increased rates and then things like that. Now, again, this is national data. It doesn't necessarily mean that's occurring in your current market or your local market. There are still some places where there are some home prices going up, high demand, and higher standard of living in certain areas. So, but a slight increase. So I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. I felt like our prices have stabilized. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. One thing that is going to be helping us a little bit, and that is what kind of gives us a little bit of relief on rates over the last week, is jobless claims have climbed to a 3-month high to 231,000. So why is this a good thing for us in our industry? Is that is a sign to the U.S. government that we are truly approaching recession, even though I feel like we've been in it for more than a year now. They just choose to look at certain numbers to be in denial about it. So it's going to start pushing us further into that abyss with the weaker labor market, or the labor market cooling. That means that rates should start to slide slightly. That gives them the signs. So will they go down as fast as they went up? No, I don't think we'll ever see that happen. I mean, the rate of which they increased over an 18-month period of time was unprecedented. I mean, you're looking at over 5 points in rate increases in 12 to 18 months, which is it's crazy. So they will not cool that fast, but it does give home buyers and prospective home buyers, as well as prospective sellers, some hope that we will start to decrease here in the short run. So I still personally think it's going to be about 12 months, Q4 of 2024, before you really see a major impact on the rate side. But any relief we can get is very, very helpful for all the buyers out there that are currently in the market. So I want to give you an update on that. And the last update I wanted to give is as more of a reminder that we talked about, which is extremely exciting, is today is the 17th, and tomorrow the new Fannie Mae update with the 5% down multifamily purchase for owner-occupieds only goes into effect. So everybody's been curious of what this pricing is going to look like in regards to rates. Are they going to hit you a little bit because it's a multifamily? Are they going to leave it, make it look like a single family? What's going to happen here? But we're super excited for all those new home buyers that are afraid to jump in the market just because of the cost of the mortgage payment itself. And we can now entertain the options of having those buyers looking at multifamily, right? 2 units, 3 units, up to 4 units, because now you don't need 15% down, up to 25% down. Now you can do 5% down, and that is huge. And that could spur some great activity for people to get into multifamilies as owner-occupied and push some investors out of that market a little bit and kind of slow this rent increase that we've been seeing also, right? the more owner-occupies we have in there, more likely we're not going to have all these large companies controlling rents across the country. So that's another thing that people aren't talking about is the more owner-occupies in these multifamilies, the better off the rent market may be, right? Could reset it, could help lower it a little bit or stabilize it, all right? Because we're seeing some crazy rents out there for some of these tenants, and it's a little out of control. So reminder, 5% down, multifamily, has to be owner-occupied. You have to live there. Okay, so that's the big caveat. So don't get any ideas that you're going to start investing in all these properties and not live there. That's called mortgage fraud, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't want to be involved in that. So keep your nose clean there. That's what I got this week. Next week we got Thanksgiving coming up. So I hope you all have a phenomenal Thanksgiving, and it is the holiday season. So try to keep your credit card spending under control, especially if you're trying to buy a house. So just one of those tips, right? We've talked about before. Don't take any new credit cards when you're out there shopping for the holidays, especially on Black Friday. It is not worth it. It could mess up your financing. So happy holidays, everybody. And we will see you guys next week. And don't forget, subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And have a good one.